สวัสดีครับ Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Good afternoon, everyone.
I apologize that previously I was supposed to be the main presenter, but somehow I lost my voice since yesterday. So today I asked Praralee, who has been working closely with us on the KTB transformation project, to be the key presenter, and I try to pitch in as much as I can, including all Q&As for this session. Basically, we just would like to share with you on the latest progress and update about KTB and overall banking industry, in particularly the NPL situation, which this year is different from other years. After we have been a strong growth in Thailand consistently for over many years, this year we start to see the slow growth in this banking sector, including the rising NPL across the board for all major banks in Thailand for the first time in past few years. So we share with you some data on that and some of our thought on that as well. Okay, so I pass it to Kun Praralee.
Thank you, and thank you for having a chance to speak in this session. Let me first introduce myself a little bit. Actually, I've been joining Vorapak since the second half of 2013, taking on the retail transformation project. The project has been finished after the 2 years, and I've taken on the roles of retail chair service business group, of which is part of the retail transformation. Prior to this organization in Krung Thai Bank has been working in Siam Commercial Bank for retail CRM and also retail credit risk. Before that, I was with G Capital in Thailand and globally. On this session for the session for today, we'll be covering on 3 sessions: performance and how KTB has been doing compared to peers, NPL situation in KTB and also in others, and also our strategies and achievement for the transformation over the past 2 years and our opportunities in 2016. When I joined in KTB, the first, I'm sorry for the, okay, sorry for my mistake. For the KTB, when I first joined KTB, it's actually been a while for me, a little bit of many things. First of all, we have been having a very big customer base of 15 million active customers. Based on my experience in the past couple of banks, this is the biggest customer base, which is active customer in Thailand. And we have a very strong presence in upcountry, especially in our footprint of the branch. We are number 1 in branches and also number 1 in ATM. Over 75% of our branch are in upcountry, and also 70% of our ATM is in upcountry. We have been actually deepen our relationship of the customer base in upcountry to grow our strong profit in the past 5 years. During Kun Vorapak session, he has earned a lot of awards, and the most critical one that we have just earned in this year 2015 is on the Thailand Business Leader for CNBC. Having said that, the past 5 years' performance has been a proven performance of all those double-digit growth in all key numbers. In this area, we have to thank to Kun Apisak, Ministry of Finance, who has built the Krung Thai Bank with a strong foundation. And during Kun Vorapak session, he take on further on the transformation to really strengthen on, first is on number 1 of the total loan outstanding and also the total growth of deposit. Especially the key numbers, which is substantially better, is actually on the total profit. You see that over the past 5 years, we have outperformed the profit by ourselves of 23%. Of that, we still see as compared to peer, we still have a lot of rooms for improvement. Although we are in number 2 of the total asset, but we still have an opportunity to grow our net profits as compared to peers.
Let me add a little bit here. If you look, KTB by size, we are the largest bank in terms of both the asset and the distribution coverage in Thailand. Our profit ranked number 4. Okay, for me, I see huge opportunities for KTB, but there are a few items that we need to catch up. The key root cause for the gap of net profit, mainly number one is the overall asset yield. Second is cost of fund. Third is the mix of fee and non-interest income. And the third will be the cost-income ratio to a certain extent, but it's not that bad. And the risk management or the NPL. These are the items that has caused the difference in the gap. And if you look in the past 2 years, we are gradually closing the gap in terms of the realized portfolio, maximize cross-selling activities. 3 years ago, if the first day when I joined, we have 40% exposure in corporate. Now the exposure in corporate is lower. Our strategy is to not to expand asset in the corporate banking, but realize the portfolio and maximize cross-selling, increase fee income, and focus more on the strategic CASA. Okay. Please.
On this one is actually by design that we are growing on the retail and SME as we take on a journey of transformation project. And the significant growth is actually on the upcountry for those retail and also SME. The mix of the retail has been increasing significantly over from 2013 from 32% into 38% this year. That's the portfolio realignment as Khun Vorapak just mentioned. Having said into the NPL, as Khun Vorapak mentioned a little bit early on, I would take you to the NPL as comparison to the peer banks.
Before we move, can we go back to the last page? Let me highlight on the corporate portfolio. 3 years ago when I first joined, the corporate mix was 40% and retail was around 30%. Now retail has surpassed the corporate banking and is in line with our intentional strategy to expand more into retail and SME. The corporate doesn't shrink. Actual asset continue to grow gradually, but there are much stronger growth in the retail and SME sector, which has caused the difference in the portfolio mix and is in line with what we intend to do.
I'll spend a little bit of time on the NPL page. This page look a little busy, but if you're looking at the NPL of 4th Q14 as compared to the 3rd Q15, looking at the KTB, the total NPL today, including those biggest cases on the steel industry, it would reach about 88 billion. However, if we take that out, actually the NPL increase of our portfolio is only about 22%. If you're looking at those peer comparison, we will be the smallest part of the NPL increase, take out of those. Even if you're looking at the purple colors banks, then the increase take out of the case of SSI is still on the high side of over 50%. In that though, if you take out a big case, what happened in our portfolio in KTB is actually driven by the retail portfolio, of which it has been quite the old vintage that we grown before we take on the retail transformation. During the transformation, we have been tightened a lot in terms of credit origination and also setting up on the collection strategy. At the current stage, our NPL in the 3rd Q has been increasing in a lowering trend. Example would be only the last month we have only increased about 300 million baht, which is the smallest increase that we have done. As compared to the last year, the increase has been significantly smaller.
As I mentioned to you earlier, this year is a very different year from the past many years where we have been seeing the consistent declining in the NPL for all the banks. This year has been the first year that we see the rise in NPL. Okay, most of the major banks has started to see the rise in NPL since the second half of last year, and it seemed to be peaking in the first half of this year. Each bank have different problem, but like for KTB, for instance, majority of our NPL, if we exclude one-off case, which is SSI, majority of this NPL mainly are from retail banking portfolio, mostly housing loan. And for other banks, like SB are mixed between retail and SME. K-Bank seem to have mainly the NPL rise mainly from SME, which is very small SME. The medium and large size SME or corporate by and large seem to be okay. But the majority of these are from retail customer, are from small, very small SME. But from the trend in the past couple quarters, NPL situation seem to be subsides, but we're still very cautious for next year. Doesn't mean that next year it will decline. I think we still have to be very cautious, but I still believe that if we not rise as strong as what we have seen in the first half of this year. And like for KTB, first year when I joined, I can track my NPL on monthly basis. And I get the report about 45 days after month ends. As of today, we can track NPL on daily basis. Especially on retail, we can track the rise in NPL on daily basis, T+2. Whatever happened 2 days ago, we can track as of today. And we can drill down which group, which hub, which branch, which product. If it's housing loan, which project, who brought the application, who validated the data, who approved the case, and who made the appraisal. We can track, we can drill down. So this change in the MAS system has enabled us to manage both the business development and the risk management much more effectively compared to the past.
Actually, let me have an insight of one word. We drill down into the credit bureau on the household debt impact of our portfolio. 50% of our portfolio has been impacted by the household debt, of which of those is about average 25% debt increase of our existing base, and that's causing NPL. When we're looking at the increase of on the past due debt, those who are having a higher debt increase from the credit bureau standpoint of the total debt has been signaled very strongly on the NPL increase, and that would impact entirely of all banks customer. I think that is the case also. So if you're looking at the newer vintage that we have put in a new risk engine, is clearly the risk curve on the credit losses has been significantly improved, together with the speed up of our collection both in retail and SME, and a lot of analytics driven to prioritize on the collection side. We will closely monitor and put in a lot of initiatives on the collection side to control our NPL, starting actually beginning of this year and then also continue toward next year on our control of the NPL situation. The next one would be on the NPL trend. Whether or not we would be worried, this one is more the bigger pictures. If we look backward at 1997 during the Tom Yum Goong crisis, what happened there is actually a couple of impact that has been done there. First of all, there's a lack of the credit bureau at that time. We don't have NCB at that time. Second, the credit standard that put in by the regulators as well as at the bank are not really at the high standard during the Tom Yum Goong crisis, and also the exchange rates and the BIBF policies is also not really that strengthened at that time. Throughout another 3 crises that our NPL in the banking industry has been sustained to the subprime, to the flood crisis in Thai, and also with the global economy slowdown, we still be able to manage. If you look what happened, the happening during this time is first, the NCB or National Credit Bureau has been a significant role in controlling a credit, because every bank, when they approve the credit, everybody has to go in and check credit bureau, looking at all those total debt and repayment abilities for the future cash flow of the customer. Second, the Bank of Thailand have put in a lot of governance structure around the approval criteria of all those lending. Therefore, we're putting in, I think every bank and financial institution are very cautious about debt service ratio, especially on the housing. Everybody put in the housing debt service ratio as on top of the total debt service ratio. Those 2 things has been actually regulate a lot of approval rate. So if you're looking at the approval rate of the lending in the past year and this year also, it has been significantly lower. Every bank would push approval rate lower about 10 to 20%, depends on the risk appetite of each bank. And that's how we're looking at the NPL of the banking sector for the past 2 years and also this year. Moving into the next year, I believe that every bank will be very active in collection and also origination of all those credit standards to really maintain this high standard as well as the BOT rules. So those are our view on the NPL situation. Looking at the Thailand capital, on the capital, Thailand banking capital is also very strong as compared to peer in the Asian bank and also in the global level, both in the capital ratio and also CAR ratio and the Tier 1 ratio. So we really has been improving all along in the past 10 years. This one, I would invite Kun Vorapak to.
This one, I think, in the past couple of days, you have heard a lot of story about the Thai economic outlook. And I think at the moment, consensus view is that we hope next year will be better than this year. This year, very likely the GDP will grow by about 2.5% range. Next year, most people, including us, forecast around 3.5% growth for Thailand. And because if you look at the economic structure in Thailand, majority of Thailand GDP, around almost 70%, are still relying on export. So when the world economy is still weak, it will also impact our country's ability to export as well. But there's some positive side in terms of the more stability in terms of political environment. And with the ultimate power of the current government, we are hopeful that they can push forward all the mega project, major infrastructure investment, which will lead into increasing supply chain activities and sentiment. And tourism industry seems to be doing well. This year is a record year for the tourism industry in Thailand, with 30 million tourists coming to Thailand. And both the number of tourists and the income-related tourist sector has grown quite satisfactory for this year. And it's government's priority to also to continue to boost the tourism, the foreign direct investment, and the mega project investment, and the SME, which seem to be on the key priority of the government as the key engine to drive the economic growth in Thailand. And for KTB, we are quite strong in capturing the supply chain of the government infrastructure related project. And SME, our strategy to grow SME, the medium size, small size, and extra small size in Thailand, or those companies with sales revenue around 500 million baht, or roughly about 12-15 million US dollars or below. Those are the target of SME that we still want to grow, which is aligned with the government direction. If we compare our portfolio to other peers, like number one is K-Bank. K-Bank has over 400 billion baht exposure into the medium size, small size SME. We have total 1.9 trillion baht lending portfolio, but we have less than 10% of the exposure into SME. And our strategy is to continue to grow strongly in SME. This year, we see 30% growth, 30% growth in the medium-sized SME. Next year, we still think that we still can grow by 25% range for the medium-sized SME, medium and below SME.
Let me take you through all those transformation projects that has been a journey since 2013. Actually, before we jump into that, our core strategy of this year is to maintain.
Let me add to this. This is in line with what I discussed earlier when we see the chart showing our size and our profit gap. And this key strategic objective is to close all the profitability gap by growing profit, maximize yield, low cost of fund. This is strategic goal. The way to do it, which we have been doing it over the past 3 years, is number one, to realign portfolio, increase more exposure in SME and retail. On the wholesale banking, maintain the asset size, realign portfolio to exit from those customers who use our bank just for the loan product, and increase or realign exposure into the relationship whereby there are multiple product requirements, especially those customers who can use product that lead into non-interest income or fee-based income. Third is to increase non-NII, which we have been successfully. This year, non-NII has grown by double digit for this year, and so far it's still in line with our strategy in terms of improve the turnaround time. So the customer will use our service not because we are the cheapest. They use our service because we are fast, we are capable. Okay. For instance, in SME, in the past, SME size M, medium size, it will took us a month or so to get the case approved. Now there is only 10 days turnaround time to approve the case for SME medium size. We have reprocessed and set up the loan factory, and we reprocess the approval process, and we strengthen the risk management on both the SME and the retail, where we set the retail loan factory as well. The turnaround time for retail loan factory nowadays is
2 days.
2 days. Compared to the past, is over 10 days. So we hope that this strategy, and we have executed, we have done it, it will lead into more fruitful return in terms of the high yield, high portfolio, product mix, and product capability. Fourth area is the cost control. And the fifth area is to reduce NPL through risk management. And the last one, which is most important one, is how to turn KTB, which is the largest bank in Thailand, and the state-owned bank. Government still owns 55% of our stake. By law, we still regarded as a state-owned enterprise. Okay, and how to turn the organization to be performance-driven organization. So a lot of work needs to be done on the HR side, which we have done major part of it, i.e., to create the organization to be sales and service focused organization, which means that majority of our resource, majority of our headcount will be allocated into sales and service. Today, we have achieved that 70% of our headcount are in sales and service. 30% is in the supporting function. And we try to link the compensation and promotion to be in line with individual performance, economic contribution, and potential. And this strategy, along with the key enabler like measurement tracking, the revamp of the data, the MAS, we are able to measure the performance of the individual. We are able to assess each individual performance fairly and accurately in order to lead our organization into a performance-driven organization. And so far, the labor union has been quite cooperative. Their objective and our objective are aligned. They understand that KTB is not competing with government saving bank or government housing bank. They understand that we are competing against major peers like Bangkok Bank, K Bank, and Siam Commercial Bank. And our labor unions also agree that there are a few things that we need to fix in order to enable us to compete with those peers, including to turn the organization to be performance-driven organization. So in the past 3 years, I got a very good cooperation from various stakeholders, include labor unions.
Thank you. These 6 strategies is actually fit into our 3 summit journeys very well. The first 2 years has been the foundation building, of which I will touch base a little bit in the next couple page. And then the gaps that we will be touching on those 6 key strategies is also in the key initiative in the last section. Ultimate goal of our 3 summits journey is to be a very second home, the best place to work for our staff, and also the best banking in terms of digital banks. So those are the 3 summit strategy on the transformation journeys. What have we done? We laid out all those foundation, and we also fixing a lot of foundation through the transformation that we touch. Mostly of the transformation had been touched on the front end side, of which it start from the retail, SME, global market, wholesale, global transaction, and then the 2 parts of the support would be on the HR and the operation side. Quick one on the retail transformation. The retail transformation, we actually do 3 things. First, we revise all those sales and service model to what we call 7 elements, of which we have revamp all those roles and all those actions, process, and also measurement and planning in branch. Actually, it's with the objective to allow them to have more time to go to see customer and then have a better sales and service. Those has been yield a result in the significant. For example, we have unlocked the cross-sell opportunities. Currently, our 2 product, the product holding has been increased in the past 2 years from 2.26 to 2.46 product holdings in September of 2015. And also we jumped on the fee income into 18% this year over in the past year of 9%. And the most important on the service quality, we have a customer engagement increase every quarter in the past 2 years from 4.3 into 4.46 in this year. So those are the result of the sales transformation. And the very critical ones for the back and the collection is actually we centralize all those approval of the loans. Before the transformation, the loans had been decentralized. After we centralize, we can also control the time to market. As Khun Vorapak just mentioned, we approve in 2 days. And also we uplift all those risk engine and also risk analytics. So if we're looking at only credit losses, the credit losses of this recent has been outperformed before the transformation by half. But we're still having a little monitoring on the operational fraud losses through the operation. Looking at the collection and also the engine of the early warning, it's the same thing. We utilize all those behavior, both in our internal deposit and also any payments and utilization of our internal KTB and also the credit bureau to speed up all those collection activities. If we benchmark our collection activities today, it's comparable to the big banks and also the global standards. So those are the transformation project and key result of the transformation so far, of both on the credit losses side and also on the cross-sell engine. Similar to SME transformation, the SME transformation has been focusing on the similar area of the sale process. On the sale process, it's actually split on the business model. Before the transformation, on the business model of SME size M and also SME size L are the same. So we changed the business model to be able to allow the time to grow on the SME size M more. And with those, it's actually allow SME size M to grow more than 30% of outstanding and to jump over the fee income growth of 40%, over 40% of fee income growth for the business on the SME size M. And this journey will continue with the growth on overall of 12% of SME and a focusing of over 30% on the SME side M for the business model. In terms of risk management, this one has been a very, we got a very good comment from Bank of Thailand around the risk management model of the SME. because the way we're looking at a credit risk management model, we have both on the statistic model for the NCB score, and we combine with the expert judgment on the QCA model. So we combine those two engines, and we use it in the centralized loan factories to approve credit. Our result has been very satisfied because we look at the NPL, it has been significantly improved with the NPL of only 1% as compared to higher before. In terms of collection, a similar system on the early warning has been set up, and also along with the credit clinic to speed up on the early collection for SME. Taking on into the wholesale banking, we have done a lot of revise on the capability buildings, and also to allow the front-end team, the RM team, to build the cross-sale capabilities, of which we also having the cross-sale activity along with the new growth engine of the global market and global transaction. We have boosted fee income over 23% of our cross-sale fees income on this wholesale banking. Along with that, we have touched a lot on the credit process and policy transformation, especially on the risk rating. We address on the risk rating to be more accurate, and also better risk return award in there to allow the capital optimization to happen. With this initiative, we actually boost our portfolio and realign to a lower risk in terms of the rating from 70% of those into 82%. So those are the result of the wholesale banking transformation. I'm looking at the HR. HR is a key part. As Khun Vorapak has been mentioned all along, that HR transformation or HR is the most significant one in our organization because we are operate as state-owned enterprise. The HR before has been very focused on the administrative work, but for now, we want them to be our partner with businesses, so they are focusing a lot more on in terms of manpower management, in terms of resource planning, talent management, as well as on the business KPI. And most important one is they help boosting the culture change to become the performance-driven organization throughout the year. Optimization and procurement. As the bank of state-owned enterprise, we still have a lot of room to improve on the optimization on the cost side. So far, we have identified over 50 initiatives. And what we have earned this year is actually about 400 million already of the saving over the cost of only 50 initiatives that we have to define. And also on the procurement excellence, as you know, the procurement for the state-owned enterprise having a little of the complication there. So we will ramp this one, and we are forecasting to earn another 300 million over in this initiative. Global market. Global market is our new growth engine. We have, what we should be mentioned is that from before transformation, the global market has been embedded under the finance group. And then when we take on the new organization, we have to start reform ourselves from the system process control and also capability in terms of product and RM to really boosting ourselves and work together with the wholesale banking to unlock all those per client profile, client expansion, and also product capabilities. So far, what we have achieved so far is actually the boost of the FX market. This is only a 9-month performance of the global setting up, of which we have earned about 31% increase in those volume. And currently in the position of Thai DCM market, the global market team has already achieved number 1.
Yeah, let me add to this. In the past 3 years ago, when I first joined, this is basically the treasury operation of the bank. Nowadays, we try to convert the treasury operation into the highly profitable business unit, and we rename it global market. Their main activity will be in money market and FX trading, fixed income, and derivative. But we will strictly adhere to client needs, client-related transaction. We will not have any prop trading. We will not tolerate any speculation activities. So far this year, all the major deals that we have done with the clients in the past, it's just like we have to buy the product from foreign bank and sell to our customer. Nowadays, we are able to produce the product, i.e., suppose PTT want to do a swap from baht bond into US dollars. In the past, we have to do back-to-back deal with the foreign bank, and end up we made very little money. Today, we are able to do it on our own, and by doing it on our own, we square all the risk out from day one and lock in the profit. This will be a major non-interest income booster for the wholesale banking portfolio from both combination of the debt capital market, the flow of the trading, i.e. FX and money market instrument. Today we have seen increasing performance of the churn rate of the short-term liquidity management, which has outperformed the historical result. And on the fixed income, mainly our focus will be to do the deal related to customer need and do the basic short-term trading to facilitate the financial institution. And this will be one of the high growth area for Krung Thai Bank going forward.
Thank you. For the global transaction, it's actually what we have done so far. The growth, the second growth engine is also take off at the same time with the global market. But on the global transactional banking, we are focusing on the building of the supply chain business for SME business, and also we leverage a lot of a government relationship to build on a lot of a service project. Example would be we have launched lately that everybody should know on the lottery project and also the M-Pass, and we have done several projects with the government. And then in terms of business solution, we have done a lot of business solution with PTT and also other organization under B2B business that we have done on the supply chain and also cash management.
For this product, this is very key to us. If you look at our profitability gap, one of the key areas that we need to improve is to lower the cost of fund. This product, the ultimate goal is for global transaction banking to bring us CASA, the current account and saving account, or the main operating account. Our goal is to increase operating account as much as we can, because CASA is a cheap deposit and it's not mobilized easily. It's not very sensitive to pricing. It's not like fixed deposit or term deposit that keep moving easily from each bank to each bank, subject to pricing. But if we can execute this platform well, we will enjoy a rise in CASA, low cost of fund, and it's very stable revenue for us. It will link both the CASA and the trade finance. It's not easy to get it, but once you get the deal, it remains with the bank for a long time. And so far, I think the team has demonstrated our capability to close a major complex transaction within a short period of time, like the lottery. It's the first time where government has used bank, both the physical branch channel and through alternative channel, i.e. ATM and internet, for the first time to allow the retail distributor to subscribe from the bank. And they use Krung Thai, only Krung Thai as the main subscribing bank. We are the only one. And we closed the deal from beginning of discussion until first day of subscription within 3 months time. And it's all made in KTB. There is no outsourcing of any work. And we hope to capture more of this government-related activity from this area. Especially this government has big initiative on national e-payment, where they aim to convert everything to be on the cashless. And there was a big meeting this past week between the finance minister and all the CEO of the major bank in Thailand, addressing the goal, the strategic goal of the government on national e-payment, of which with the relationship that we are quite close to the government and our internal capability in this area, we are hopeful that we can grow along with this government strategy.
Thank you. Let's move on to...
We are running out, that's
Yeah.
it, 1:15.
All right.
followed by Q&A.
All right. So just wrapping up on our 2016 initiative. Actually, what we would do is that we will also continue with our core growth of all those retail, SME, wholesale, and the government segment. We also will closing the gap with the new engine, as mentioned before, on the global market and global transaction, and also the new initiative on the digital banking. We will also strengthen our relationship with the government, especially on those key projects of national e-payment.
Okay, let's end at this page. Let me summarize the key opportunities for Krung Thai Bank. Overall, if you look at banking sector industry, I think it will be difficult to see those double-digit growth going forward in Thailand. I'm talking about the asset growth. I think the asset growth will be more modest going forward. Like for KTB, our own strategy. Our strategy is not to focus on the asset growth. Our focus will be on the healthy, quality profit growth, i.e. for the wholesale banking. Their KPI next year is not about asset growth. Their KPI is mainly about profit growth, especially those non-interest income and fee-based income. So in wholesale banking, what they do is they will continue to realign portfolio, maximize cross-selling, capture the global market business, capture the global transaction banking business. Okay. On retail side, retail, if you look at our portfolio this year, in the first half, we still can see double-digit annualized growth of retail portfolio. Our engine is still strong, but in second half, because of the rise in NPL, we intentionally slow down the business development activities and focus our resource into risk management and collection. There continues to be a strong demand for loan in Thailand in retail sector. It's up to the bank how much risk we want to take. And for us, we have tightened our underwriting standard in the past 2 years. So our risk underwriting criteria has been tighter, has been more conservative. Okay, but we still want to grow into the small SME, extra small SME, and in generic retail banking, i.e. even in housing loan, we still can grow selectively in the personal loan, unsecured personal loan, and the loan, personal loan lent to the government-related employees. We still continue to grow, but our focus will not be so much on asset growth, but more on the quality profit growth. In SME, as I mentioned, this may be the only area where we intentionally want to see the asset growth. Our target asset growth for next year will be roughly 25% in SME, medium size. This year, we should be able to grow by 30% in SMEs, medium size. For the large SME and the corporate, our strategy is to maintain asset growth. Okay, but realign portfolio, maximize cross-sale, increase yield from structured product. For the government, we are not interested in lending to the government. We will do it only if we have surplus liquidity. Our focus is to provide funding to the government through the debt capital market activities, if possible, or the global market activity, i.e. if the government were to borrow any loan from JBIC in Japanese yen currency, our interest is to help them to manage the risk exposure, to hedge the yen exposure, to match with the underlying revenue of the government in Thai baht. That will be our primary focus. But the key bread and butter for us in government sector will be, in addition to global market, will be the supply chain of the mega project and the growth of the government-related payment activities, especially all the national e-payment, where we start to see the governmental unit start to do more and more of cashless transaction. Okay. That is the overview of Krung Thai, and I'm happy to open the floor for any questions. Anyway, I don't want you guys to be too bearish on banking. I think it's still a very good industry. It still have potential to grow profit and grow dividend. But from the trend that I see, I don't think we can expect the same asset growth that we've seen in the past few years in Thailand. If you look at retail, which has been the strong growth area in Thailand, the consumer debt to GDP has been rising strongly, and now I think there are smaller limit for bank to lend more into retail banking sectors. So the challenge is how we can maximize the cross-selling activities to the retail and wholesale and SME and government sectors.
Let me read the question for you. The first question is on the target ROE as a result of the Threesome program and or the finishing of the transformation program.
Our target ROE, we will compare with the peers, but minimum target ROE will not be lower than 12%.
And the second question would be on the super holding. How would we feel the benefit of the super holding if this is coming in?
I think the super holding will definitely help to increase the governance. Today, I would say we have been lucky in running KTB. It's not by design, but it's by luck that we are fortunate to have good board composition, to have a good board member, and they don't interfere with our day-to-day operation. But it's not by design, it's by luck. The super holding will add the by design governance structure to ensure that every state-owned enterprise we have good governance in terms of the board member qualification, the board members composition with various mix and skill and experience, and to draw a proper line between the board roles and the management role. I'm looking forward to it, and I think market rumor is that Dr. Prasan, the ex-BOT governor, is likely to chair and take the leadership on super holding. So I hope it will happen fast.
Thank you. The third question would be, as being one of the largest bank and part of the government, what do you think the KTB can play a key role to support the country economies going forward?
In three major areas. One will be the SME, which has been the key priority of this government to support and grow SME sector, and this is aligned with our strategy and is aligned with our engine capability. Second is on the national e-payment, which is also aligned with KTB's global transaction banking strategy. And third one is because we are the largest bank with the distribution network around the country. One of the key agenda for this government is to make sure that we can widen the banking service through various customer segments, particularly the low-income people, the people who live in the rural area, and to enable those areas where urbanization is also coming. And I think this area, i.e. SME bank, is not easy for most banks to grow SME. If you're a medium-sized bank, you have only a few hundred branches, and you want to grow SME, it's extremely difficult. For us, we are able to grow SME through the supply chain of the major corporate relationship, and we have the extensive distribution network. So one of the key features of SME is you have to understand their business. You have to see the real business. If there are noodle shop, are they a real noodle shop? How many bowls do they sell per day? We do have this capability on the field verification. So let's come back to the government. So our strategy will be aligned, and we can grow along with that initiative on the growth in the SME, the national e-payment, and also the upcountry urbanization and the low-income segment service.
Actually, one of the question in here is about SME, of which Khun Vorapak just already answers on how do we mitigate the risk through the asset quality of the business model and also the underwritings and the risk engine that we have. So the next question would be, under the transformation project, which are the key priorities of the transformation project in the bank?
The major project, the first phase has been largely complete, where we set all the key foundation, i.e. the main engine for retail banking, the main engine for SME, the main engine for the wholesale global market, and the main engine for HR has been largely completed. HR is the most important one in my view, the people development, and also to continue to foster the culture of KTB to be performance-driven organization. The second major one will be the data transformation project. This is a new project. We have done a lot of data and MAS change in the past 3 years, but it's still not enough. At the moment, retail banking are the only business unit with one of the most comprehensive data support. But the rest of the bank, there's still some gap that we need to capture, we need to fix. In particularly when we discuss about digital banking, majority of key success factor of digital banking is the data analytic engine. So the data transformation will be the major task for us going forward in the next 12 months to revamp the database of the bank, to build the insight analysis capability, and to build the data analytic capability for both business development and risk management and internal management.
In the last question, actually, Khun Vorapak already...
Risk management is the major element in the retail banking transformation, SME banking transformation, and wholesale banking transformation. But risk and collection are still the key. In the past 3 years, we have tightened the risk management process and policy, and we will continue to do so. So all the key jigsaw that are still need to be developed is product capability, channel development. We will continue to emphasize more on the alternative channel, i.e. telesale, outbound sales, and the digital channel, and the risk and collection, CRM, branding and marketing, and the operation process and control.
Thank you. Actually, you have just answered the last question on the e-payment, digital banking, and on e-channels. That's the last question we have. Any other questions?
Right on time, 1:30. Okay.
Okay.
ขอบคุณมากครับ Thank you. Thank you very
everyone.
much.
ขอบคุณ
Sorry about my voice.
Thank you very much for this last session and a very insightful session.